First at 6, we continue our breaking news coverage of the tragedy in Fall River. The Bristol County DA's office has released the names of 7 of the 9 people who died at the Gabriel House Assisted Living Facility. I'm Mike Montecalvo. And I'm Kayla Fish. The DA's office also says the fire does not appear to be suspicious, though they are still investigating. The victims' names are 64-year-old Rui Albernaz, 61-year-old Ronald Codega, 69-year-old Margaret Duddy, 78-year-old Robert King, 71-year-old Kim Mackin, 78-year-old Richard Rochon, and 86-year-old Eleanor Willett. The DA's office says they are still working to notify next of kin for a 70-year-old woman and a 77-year-old man. Fall River's fire chief says the horrific loss of life could have been even worse were it not for the heroism of police and firefighters, some of whom responded despite being off duty. The city says all of the people evacuated from the assisted living facility have places to stay tonight. Earlier, we saw firefighters using shopping carts to get the residents' medical records. We have live team coverage for you tonight, but we start with Shannon Hegy and Kim Kalunian live at the scene. Shannon and Kim.
Mike and Kayla, as we speak, construction workers are behind us boarding up the windows of Gabriel House. We've been told by firefighters that this is not the average building they respond to where you have your typical 4 walls. And when you look at this building from an aerial view, it looks like the number 4. So you can imagine how many nooks and crannies there were as firefighters tried to go room to room and find these victims.
And this was a really labor-intensive rescue for these firefighters because, as you might imagine, many of the people who were living here needed help doing everyday tasks. So trying to escape these smoky rooms and these flames that were blocking their way was extremely difficult, and they needed a lot of intervention from these firefighters. Our Shiina LoSciuto has been live here on scene all day and joins us now with what she's learned about the response to last night's fire, as well as the investigation moving forward. Shiina.
Well, reporting live here on Oliver Street, you can still smell the smoke in the air. And fire officials say they believe right now it's likely that the smoke from the fire likely played a major role in this devastating tragedy. 9 people are dead. Now the mayor is asking questions. He's looking for answers like, is anyone to blame for this fire? Were the alarms working, and were the sprinklers working? With flames shooting through the front entrance, people desperately wait for help. Fall River firefighters arrived to a burning assisted living facility Sunday night.
It was a nightmare. Just people everywhere, you know, screaming. I saw a nurse running towards the building. Their eyes met with desperate looks from residents who live there, hopeful to make it out alive.
Multiple victims hanging out the windows, screaming and begging for help and to be rescued.
City leaders say the Gabriel House is home to dozens, many dealing with conditions where they could not escape alone.
There are severely compromised individuals in this assisted living facility, which made it all the more challenging. And you can imagine a fire raging.
Smashing windows, getting people out. It was crazy.
Fall River fire officials confirming 9 people died. More than 30 others were transported to area hospitals. 1 person remains in critical condition. This woman got the call from police early this morning. Her uncle, a veteran in his 70s, did not make it.
I've got a lot of thoughts, but I think I'll just reiterate the first one is I think if someone serves for our country, they should be taken care of before anybody else.
As first responders bring out things like medicine and records from the building, there are people here trying to recover in their own ways.
We're going to get those answers, and we're going to find out who we're going to hold accountable, what went wrong. Maybe we're going to hold no one accountable. Maybe it was just one of these flukes of nature, but 9 people died, and we should have the answers to why.
Again, no word on the cause of this tragic fire here tonight. The fire chief says he wants to make sure he has all the facts on this before they release any more on that. Reporting live in Fall River tonight, I'm Shiina LoSciuto, 12 News.
Thank you, Shiina. And we just heard in Sheena's story that there were people hanging out the windows begging for help. And we're hearing from some of those survivors and their harrowing tales. Many of them are down the street from here at the Tomeo Center, where they've been since last night. Alex Torres-Perez has more from them.
Well, Shannon, in the last hour, I actually spoke with Fall River Mayor Paul Coogan, who told me that they were able to find a place for everyone who was displaced. They all have beds for the night. Now, 13 people will have to stay here at the Tomeo Center, but it's just been a stressful situation for everyone as they're not only mourning the loss of their neighbors, but they're also having to cope with just narrowly escaping a burning building with just the clothes on their back.
I thought I was dead. I really thought I was going to meet my maker.
Lorraine Ferrara is grateful to be alive after a fire broke out at the Gabriel House assisted living facility while she was asleep on the second floor. She says her neighbor banged on her door telling her to leave, but by the time she got to the hall, there was no way out.
Smoke just hit me back. It was so thick, and I was right near the exit door, and I should have been able to get out, but I couldn't. The smoke was too heavy.
So Lorraine shut herself in the bathroom and called for help. But she wasn't alone.
And someone above me was yelling, help, help, third floor.
A fireman was able to break her window and carry her down the ladder safely, but Lorraine knows not everyone was as lucky, as she lost someone whom she considered a sister.
We're all like family. We're a family there. We're all family.
And like family, they stand together as volunteers provide food and supplies, and the city relocates Lorraine and several others to nearby facilities to stay for the night. Governor Maura Healey even promising resources to help the victims.
Our administration will do anything and everything we can to support the good people of Fall River and these residents and affected loved ones in this tragedy.
And Mayor Coogan tells me that around 26 people are staying at those nearby facilities, that trolley taking them there this afternoon, but another 13 once again staying here at the Tomeo Center. The mayor hoping to find beds for those people tomorrow. Reporting live in Fall River, I'm Alex Torres-Perez, 12 News.
All right, Alex, thank you. And as we stand here less than 24 hours from when those flames first broke out, we're hearing the church bells of the nearby St. Anne's Church ringing. It's a really moving moment for us here. And of course, because we're only 24 hours out from when those flames first erupted, the quest for answers is really just beginning. And Target 12 has already been digging through records and court documents related to the Gabriel House, and also spoke with an employee here who says the facility was short-staffed. Target 12 investigator Tim White joins us now with what he's found. Tim?
Kim, Shannon, the building at 261 Oliver Street was built in 1964 and originally operated as the Redwood Manor Motel. Records show it became Gabriel House, an assisted living facility, in 1999.
I saw a horror show, is what I saw.
Debbie Johnson says she showed up for her overnight shift at the Gabriel House on Sunday and discovered firefighters pulling people from the building.
It was just people coming out all the windows on ladders, and they did a fantastic job.
Target 12 reviewed tax records and other documents about the Gabriel House. The facility was listed as having 88 bedroom units. A certificate of inspection from last October listed 15 occupants on the first floor, 28 on the second floor, and 33 residents on the top third floor. Target 12 has also visited Fall River Government Center and spoke to the building inspector. He says the facility was given a clean bill of health, though the sprinkler system appeared old. But a lawyer for the city refused to immediately release the facility's health inspection reports, including one that allegedly documented rodent and bedbug problems.
Understaffed, that's an understatement.
Johnson says there were only 2 staff members that worked overnights at Gabriel House.
Which is not enough, but the night before this tragedy, I worked all by myself.
The Gabriel House website lists the cost of a studio apartment at $2,400 a month for the assisted living plan and just over $1,800 a month for the independent living plan. Court records show the owner of Gabriel House, Dennis Etzkorn, has been involved in a number of legal disputes over the years. I called a phone number associated with Etzkorn, but the individual who answered hung up. Mayor Paul Coogan says Etzkorn is cooperating in the fire investigation. With the Target 12 investigators, Tim White, 12 News.
Tim, thank you. And speaking of staffing levels, another part of this story that's been developing today is Fall River firefighters arguing that they were not properly staffed last night. They say, according to national firefighter standards, they should have had 8 more firefighters here on the scene. They say they waited 40 minutes for extra firefighters to arrive here, and they think the outcome could have been different. The mayor saying he doesn't want to get political with this right now. He's just trying to help the survivors at this point.
And of course, the investigation is really just getting underway, and we'll have much more on this story in the hours and days ahead. For Shannon Hegy, I'm Kim Kalunian. We'll send it back to you. All right, thank you, Kim and Shannon. 12 News will have continuing coverage of the assisted living tragedy in Fall River.
We'll bring you the latest in the days and weeks ahead on air and online at WPRI.com.